Hello everyone, Z3KO Trinity here. Today's episode I'm going to be doing a book review on North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. Now normally when I do book reviews I try to be comical, but this one I'm going to be a little bit more serious, so I hope that doesn't bother y'all. But this book is actually special to me. I really love this book, and it's just probably my number one favorite book of all time. I had just got through reading it and definitely wanted to do a video on it. But if you don't know what it was written back in 1855, so this book is a lot old. So when you're reading it, some of the words and the ways that it were back then are kind of hard to get used to. But I'll show you what I first got interested in. It was the movie. It was on Netflix, the BBC's North and South with Richard Armitage, and I forgot her name. It was Danielle something. It won't focus. Danielle Denby Ash. But I first watched this. A friend recommended it to me, and I watched it on Netflix. It's like a 4 episode miniseries, and I just absolutely loved it. Like, it was just amazing. So I had to buy the book, and I just got done reading it, and it was really difficult to actually read the book and understand it at first, but afterwards it was just so easy, and I was so interested through it. I just loved it. But if you don't know what it's about a girl named Margaret Hale who lives in the South in a town called Helston. It's like a happy town where it's full of like farmers and just hardworking people, but everyone there knew each other and everyone was just happy go lucky and everything was fine. And her father, who is a clergyman, which is basically a pastor, um, basically the town wanted to change their ways of religion, and he did not agree with the church's decision. And in the book, you actually found out that they were teaching paganism as well as Christianity, so that's why her father didn't want to be involved with that, because he was a Christian and he didn't feel right teaching paganism. But anyway, the father was ashamed for abandoning his job position, and he told his family that he had to leave. And his wife, she was kind of sick already, but she just started getting really upset because she loved Helston, and especially Margaret. That was just her favorite place to be in all of existence, was Helston. So when they had to pack up and leave, it was just so hard for Margaret to just move from that perfect home that she had. But he wanted to move to a place where no one knew him at all, and just basically wanted to start fresh and get away from all that embarrassment, because leaving the church is like a big embarrassment, not only to you but to your actual family as well. So they moved to a place called Milton, which is up in the north, and north, as you can see from the design of the book, is like a smoky, basically like a New York City style place full of factories, different kinds of like factories and tall buildings and just stuff like that. And when they get there, her father um, starts a teaching job there, teaching people about the Bible and teaching people like different kinds of books and just education altogether. And he gets a place from a guy named John Thornton, which is also the main character of the book, but I'll get more into him here in a second. Um, he starts becoming his pupil, and John Thornton rents the place out to them where they stay and stuff like that. Well, John Thornton, he is a factory owner of Marlboro Mills. It's like a cotton factory. He owns and runs the place. Him and his mom, which they just call Miss Thornton, and his sister Fanny. And if you haven't, I really don't want to give out way too many details, so I'm just going to do partial of stuff. But towards the end, I'll spoil a little bit about it. But basically, once he sees Margaret, he starts to fall in love with her. But she has a bad opinion of him because of just how rude he is to people, and just him to her just came out as a bad guy pretty much, and she just judged him from the start. But like, for instance, she had told him that he had all his riches handed to him and he knew nothing about hard work pretty much. And he told her basically he did know poverty and what it meant to actually like build himself up from basically nothing to being the person that he is now. And once you learn more about his backstory, you really start to actually love Thornton. He is my top favorite character of all characters in any story or movie or whatever. Like, that is the type of person that I personally want to be. Like, he is so good with his money. He is just a very strong person, very strong-willed, doesn't let nothing get to him. And that's the type of person that I would love to be. But he starts to fall in love with Margaret, which she doesn't want nothing to do with him. And eventually a strike happens, and this is the sad part of the story. I don't want to give too much away, but basically Margaret kind of throws herself to shield him from this riot that happens. And that kind of act back then was a symbol of love, like true love. So he thought that she had shown him that she actually had feelings for him for doing that. And he had actually came to her and told her that he had strong feelings for her and was wanting to actually propose to her because he was in so much love with her. And he has never been in love before. Like, he's just had no want for any woman, no nothing about a relationship, nothing. But this is the first person that he has ever like actually had strong feelings for. So when she turned him down, it really, really hurt him because he's the type of person that sees himself as no good whatsoever. That no one will ever love him. No one, of course no one would want him as a suitor. That's just the type of person he is, which I am that way, actually. I see myself as that nobody would want me and stuff like that. So I really understand his character. But as the story progresses, they eventually get together, of course, and it's just such a beautiful story. It has just the perfect ending, and it is just one of my top favorite books of all times. If you have not read it, you desperately need to read it, and also highly desperately need to watch this version. There are different versions of North and South out there, but the one with Richard Armitage and that girl, I keep forgetting her name. Danielle, whatever. Ash, whatever. This version, perfect. Every single actor in the entire movie is perfect. Even the actor choice for Mr. Higgins, which is a friend of Margaret's, and just everything. Even to his mom, they had a perfect actress to play his mom. She did that part extremely well. So you desperately need to watch this movie. That pretty much wraps it up for that. The spoiling part, really, I'm just going to tell you what my favorite parts about it was. I really liked the fact that after her brother, which is wanted from the law because of a mutiny thing. After he had come in when their mom was dying, he come in to see their mom one last time, and she died. Well, she wanted to get her brother away from there because there was a guy who actually knew that his brother was there. Well, he didn't know he was there, but he knew of his brother and knew that the law wanted him and that they would pay him a good amount of money to, turn him in. Well, he finds him, but there was an accident which actually causes the guy to die. And she has to lie to the police, saying that she was nowhere near the train station when they were trying to leave and stuff like that. And Thornton actually saw them two together, which is what hurt him really bad because that was right after she had rejected him. So his thoughts, which goes back to the book, not meaning to cut off my own sentence, but in the book, it actually shows detail of exactly how he feels during every single moment, and it's just so depressing. But anyway, back to the story. He covers for her, even though he knew she had lied and knew that she had, turned him down, but went with another man. He still covered for her because he truly cares for this woman, even though she did him wrong and absolutely hates her guts for it. But that was just a really good part in the movie. My favorite part, I guess, would be the part where right before he goes to tell her his feelings, he is sitting there and he goes, "But mother, I oh shoot, I can't even remember the exact quote. It's my favorite quote of all time. That sucks." But he's like, "But mother, I darest believe that a beautiful creature like that would love me," or something like that. Basically saying that I don't believe that a woman like that would ever want anything to do with a guy like me, pretty much. And the mom's like, "Sure, she does, because she would not have went out there and done what she had done if she did not have any kind of feelings towards you," which then breaks his heart completely when she says that she would have done that to any number one of man out there in the crowd. If it would have been anybody, she would have still done it. And that moment is so heartbreaking. It is unbelievable. But yeah, this is just such a great story. I could go on and on talking about literally beginning to end because I just love every bit of this book, especially the ending when she tries to do a whole business transaction because she doesn't want to ruin his pride, because he had literally lost all his money, lost his mill, lost literally everything, and she had gained money due to a friend named Mr. Bell. She gained like pure rich back in the day. So she was like a billionaire pretty much. And she literally came up to Thornton, found him, and told him, she had a business proposal for him that she would give him literally all her money to open up his own mill, and that way she can get like 50 or 20% out of the deal. And she just basically tried to make it seem like it was just strictly business. And then he took her hand and, just called her Margaret. And the best part about the book is my favorite line. I'll even have to strip to the part. It's like right at the end where he basically told her that he still loved her, and if she didn't love him, to tell him to go away, pretty much. She says, "Oh, Mr. Thornton, I am not good enough." And he says, "Not good enough. Don't mock my own deep feeling of unworthiness." I mean, that is just such a beautiful story. This video is getting to be too long, so I'm going to end it here. But if you have not seen this movie or read the book, highly recommend both. But I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoy this episode. Sorry for the shakiness. I'm very shaky easily, so. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.